All right. Well, we'll start in a different way anyway. How last year we spoke in Minsk. Now 1 year later, how would you evaluate the first season of the Champions League?
Well, it was definitely a great experience. I mean, we had lots of fun. We really enjoyed a fantastic final in Luleå in Sweden, and I personally think that's exactly what fans, what people like. That was brilliant. We made it better from one game to the other. I mean, it was a bit disappointed spectator-wise during the group stage, but it really became much better when we entered the playoffs.
And any good surprises, do you think, overall in anything?
Well, I mean, the final and semi-final was brilliant. We heard in media and in press that, for example, the game up in Finland, Kärpät against Frölunda, was one of the best club hockey game ever in Finland, and that was a huge compliment for us, for our tournament, and for hockey in general.
Okay. What about, you said the final? Final was great, of course. Do you think, what about the dominance of Swedish and Finnish teams? Is that anything you would like to change?
Well, it's hard to change. I mean, in the end, it's sports which decided. But what I like to have, especially for the new season, is more team from different country entering the playoffs. Definitely as well, Czech teams. I mean, we need those teams as well on the playoffs. And I think the new format we have will help to develop that.
There were also some teams, though, from Switzerland and Austria who were very close. Some of them had maybe just a bit of bad luck and could have gone further.
Yeah, I mean, quite a surprise were the two teams, or two of the three teams, or four teams from Austria. I mean, Vienna and Salzburg, both of them played very well, and that was good for hockey as well. As well in Switzerland, yeah, in the end it was bad luck. Certain teams went out, and yeah, that can happen. That's sport.
Yeah, okay. What about some of what they call the Wildcard teams, like Stavanger or some of the others?
You know that, I mean, I like them very much because those teams are mostly highly committed to the project. For example, I was traveling a lot, and so I went as well to Stavanger, and this particular team was as I said, highly committed, sporty-wise, really showed a lot. But as well, teams from Great Britain, for example, I mean, they lost quite heavily, quite dramatically. But on the other hand, I mean, we had lots of spectators, lots of fans. The fans went through the roof. They really enjoyed the game.
Okay. And so some of the new places now, are there any places that you're particularly excited about?
Well, we got two new teams from Great Britain, which I heard have a lot of fans, a lot of spectators, so I like those. We have new teams from France, Grenoble was the last one, and then as well really looking forward to meet the team from Belarus, our Continental Cup winner, definitely.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Going into one, we talked about Poland earlier, but how will it be Belarus, do you think?
Well, I'm looking for the fact that they won the Continental Cup winner tournament. I'm quite positive that they become successful at the Champions Hockey League as well, and I'm very positive. And spectator-wise as well, I think they will mobilize a lot of fans to their venues, and that's exactly what we need.
Okay, and then Belarus. Everybody knows the next thing then is Russia, of course. What can you say about the possibility of that?
I'm still positive on the KHL. I think we need them, as I said before. We tried quite hard to convince them and to do marketing on the KHL thing. In the end, it was difficult. It was not that easy to convince them and to make them happy. But I think the time was too early, and I'm sure in a couple of months or years we know more, and I'm sure we need them on our tournament. It's necessary to have them as well, because otherwise it's difficult to say which team is really the best in Europe. But so far, I think for several reasons it was too early.
Okay, and earlier we said about Poland. Are there any other places in Europe you think are next?
Step by step, I think Poland is one which could make it. We just saw it at the Division 1 tournament in Krakow. They performed quite good. There are other teams from other countries which we monitor, which we watch, but it's too early to decide already. So, but I'm sure we really should follow our tagline where Europe comes to play, and that's exactly what we do this year as well.
Okay. Now looking ahead to the next year, there's been a bit of a change in format, more teams and different size groups, different number of games. Could you explain why the changes?
First of all, we had to build up some space for other countries. For example, as I said, the KHL. Finally, they were not coming, but we discussed it a lot on our board, and we decided to increase from 44 to 48 to create some more spots for wildcards. We added another wildcard for the Slovaks. We added another one for Great Britain and for France, just to develop hockey there as well. And that's one thing. The other changes, you mentioned it, is reducing the groups from 4 to 3. That gives us the possibility to take 2 to the next round. So we added one group more at the playoffs, and I think that helps several countries to enter, to get more easy to the playoffs.
Yeah, and also in the playoffs we saw generally interest in those cities was greater in the playoffs than in the group stage.
Definitely, we reduced the games which the useless game, I said, game 5 and 6. I think we avoided to have them as well.
Okay. All right. 7, 8, Poland, Belarus. Okay, just general looking ahead to season 2. Obviously, maybe what do you think are realistic goals? I mean, obviously, you want to improve things. Where do you think you want to be 1 year from now?
That's a very difficult question, but I'm really highly motivated to enter the second season, and I think the fact that we perform quite well makes it much easier. I think certain clubs which were not that committed realized how important it is really from day one on to be ready and to start and to take it serious. Otherwise, it's not a success story. And I'm sure the fact that we had such a drama up in North motivates a lot of clubs, and that fact I'm sure brings more fans, more spectators to the venue, and that's it's all what we like to see. That helps as well the club.
Okay, we talked a bit about attendance. What about other things like television or just in general other exposure of the league?
I mean, sponsor-wise, it was quite interesting what we achieved the first year. Telewise, there you're absolutely right. We have to increase those numbers as well dramatically for the second season. But that comes together with if we have more fans in the venues, we will have more fans on TV as well, I'm sure.
Okay, and so. Okay, well, we'll just wrap it up there, but just, do you have any final things to say that we can put in?
No, I think we have to do on the communication and marketing side an even better job than the first season. I think we have to search for interactivity with media. I would like to invite them much more than I did this last year, and that's the reason why we have all those press conferences around Europe, just to convince and to share our experience with media as well. I think that's very, very important, and we would like to do that as well on our internet side. I mean, our internet side has to become more proactive, and we would like to share more information with fans, with media, to develop our product.